What if I told you there's a city where silence once ruled, but now over 1,500 events explode into existence every single day? That's more than one event every minute. And I'm not talking about the usual stuff. I'm talking about secret raves and hidden Cold War bunkers, mind-bending art shows and forgotten factories, open-air cinemas lighting up the night sky, and symphonies reverberating through ancient cathedrals. A city that rose from the ashes of war was divided by walls, and now beats with more life and energy than any place on earth. This is Berlin, a city of paradoxes where history haunts every street, but the future is being invented every night. But how did this city, once shattered and silenced, become one of the most dynamic, unpredictable, and creative places on the planet? Let's dive into the wild, weird, and mind-blowing wonders of Berlin. The Reichstag building in Berlin has seen empires rise and fall, revolutions spark, and wars reshape the world. But did you know that this iconic structure once stood in ruins, abandoned and forgotten? Built in 1894, it was meant to symbolize Germany's political strength. Yet, just a few decades later, it was engulfed in flames in a mysterious fire that changed history forever. The Nazis used this disaster as an excuse to seize power, and during World War II, the building became a battleground. Bullet holes and scars from the war can still be seen on its walls today. After Germany was divided, the Reichstag remained empty for years, waiting for its purpose to return. But after reunification in 1990, something incredible happened. The building was reborn, transforming into a symbol of democracy and hope. Before we head to our next spot, let's test your Berlin knowledge with a fun question. What's the symbol of Berlin? Comment on your answer below. You probably think the Brandenburg Gate has always been a symbol of German unity. But what if I told you, for nearly 30 years, it was a symbol of division? A gate that no one could pass through. Built in 1791, the Brandenburg Gate was originally a royal entrance to Berlin, inspired by the Grand Acropolis in Athens. But history took a dramatic turn. After World War II, Germany was split into East and West, and so was Berlin. Then came 1961, the year that changed everything. The Berlin Wall was built, cutting the city in half. The Brandenburg Gate, once a proud monument, stood trapped in a no man's land. No one from East or West Germany could walk through it. For nearly 3 decades, it was a silent witness to the pain of separation. Families torn apart, friends are unable to meet. A city divided by ideology. But in 1989, the impossible happened. The Berlin Wall fell, and thousands of people rushed to the Brandenburg Gate, celebrating their newfound freedom. Now, it stands as a powerful symbol of unity and peace, a reminder of a time when a wall divided a nation, and a gate stood at the heart of it all. If you are watching this, please click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Why does a field of 2,711 concrete blocks stand in the middle of Berlin? This is the memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe. It's not just a memorial, it's a question of how we remember, and more importantly, how we never forget. Designed by New York architect Peter Eisenman, the memorial was inaugurated in 2005, 60 years after the end of World War II. Spanning 19,000 square meters, this vast space is filled with 2,711 concrete stelae, arranged in a grid pattern. Each slab is unique in size, ranging from 0.2 meters to nearly 5 meters tall, and this uneven arrangement creates an unsettling feeling for those who walk through it. As you traverse the space, the waves of concrete appear to rise up higher and more overwhelming, creating elements of disorientation that coax you to think about the abstract concept of loss. There is no singular point of recollection here, which subverts the classic notion of a memorial. Did you know that the Berlin Cathedral is not as old as it seems? In fact, what you see now is a modern version of the original church, built only in the early 20th century. The first version of the church was actually part of the Berlin City Palace, and over the years, it went through many changes. In the 1800s, famous architect Karl Friedrich Schinkel redesigned the church, making it more neoclassical in style. But as time passed, the church became too small and not grand enough for the rulers of Prussia. When Emperor Wilhelm II came to power in 1888, he wanted a church that would show the strength and power of the German Empire. In 1894, construction on the new Berlin Cathedral began. The architect, Julius Karl Raschdorf, designed a church so grand that it was compared to famous cathedrals like St. Peter's in Rome. "11 years later, in 1905, the church was finally finished. But sadly, the Berlin Cathedral wasn't immune to the effects of World War II. During the war, the church was severely damaged, but it wasn't forgotten. The rebuilding process started in 1975, and after many years of hard work, it was fully restored in 1993. The Berlin Cathedral now stands tall with its beautiful golden dome and intricate decorations, reminding everyone of the city's past and its amazing journey through time. Just outside the old Tegel Airport, there's a huge open space full of energy and stories, Zentrale Festplatz, Berlin. This 87,000 square meter area is where big outdoor events, fun fairs, and festivals come to life. A long time ago, this land was covered with forest, but in 1889, it became home to a research center testing chemicals and explosives. After World War II, the French army took over the buildings, and by 1959, they were all gone. For years, the land was used to dig sand and gravel, and boats carried materials through the nearby canal. In the 2000s, the area was turned into a festival ground where events like the colorful Farbgefühl and the 90s Super Show now take place. There are talks about building new homes, or even a football stadium here in the future. But for now, the Festplatz remains a lively spot full of music, lights, and unforgettable memories. Have you been to Festplatz yet? If you've been, drop a 1. If it's now on your list, drop a 2. Some say bridges are just functional structures, but Berlin's Oberbaum Bridge is proof that some bridges carry the weight of history, culture, and identity. Originally built in 1724 as a simple wooden drawbridge, it served as a vital link between two areas of Berlin, Friedrichshain and Kreuzberg. Little did anyone know that this unassuming bridge would one day become a symbol of a divided city. After the Industrial Revolution, it was rebuilt in 1896 with a stunning neo-Gothic design, showcasing Berlin's rapid growth and modernization. But it wasn't just about architecture. During the Cold War, the Oberbaum Bridge stood right at the border between East and West Berlin. When the Berlin Wall went up in 1961, the bridge was closed to traffic, physically and symbolically dividing the city. For almost 3 decades, the bridge was a stark reminder of Berlin's separation. Yet, in 1989, when the Berlin Wall finally came down, the Oberbaum Bridge once again became a symbol of hope and unity, reconnecting the east and west of the city. Did you know that there's a monument in Berlin that has seen more history than most places combined? The Victory Column, originally built to commemorate Prussia's military victories, now stands as a symbol of unity and resilience. Standing 69 meters tall, the Victory Column was first constructed in 1864 to celebrate Prussia's victory over Denmark in the Second Schleswig War. Over time, it came to represent not only the triumph over Denmark, but also victories in the Austro-Prussian War and the Franco-Prussian War. These victories helped shape Germany into the powerful nation it would become. Today, the Victory Column is no longer just a war monument. It's become a symbol of Berlin's strength, transformation, and even peace. Visitors from all over the world climb the 285 steps to the top, where they're rewarded with a stunning view of the Tiergarten Park and the nearby Bellevue Palace. The golden statue of Victoria, the Roman goddess of victory, stands proudly atop the column. Locals affectionately call her Gold Else, or the Golden Elsie, as the statue gleams brightly in the sun. Despite her association with military victory, she now symbolizes Berlin's rise from its turbulent past, including surviving the devastation of World War II. Each year, it's a gathering spot for thousands of people celebrating the famous Love Parade, a techno festival that has become an iconic part of Berlin's cultural identity. In the heart of Berlin stands the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, a fascinating blend of history and modern design. The original church, built in the 1890s, suffered heavy damage during a bombing raid in 1943. Parts of the old church were kept as a memorial, allowing visitors to experience its past. The church's damaged spire has earned it the nickname, the Hollow Tooth, by locals. In the 1950s, architect Egon Eiermann designed a new church around the ruins, keeping the old tower as a symbol of Berlin's strength. The new church has a unique octagonal design made of concrete, steel, and glass, with room for over 1,000 people. One striking feature inside is the bronze plaque honoring Protestant martyrs, as well as the Stalingrad Madonna, a symbol of hope. Visitors can also explore the church's tower, home to 6 bronze bells, which were cast from French cannons taken in the Franco-Prussian War. Over 50 years ago, a massive structure rose above Berlin's skyline. Standing at 368 meters, the Fernsehturm is not only the tallest building in Germany, but also a testament to a divided city's determination to stand tall. Built during the Cold War in the 1960s, this iconic tower was a symbol of East Germany's power and ambition. Its sharp, modern design stood in stark contrast to the traditional architecture around it, making it a true landmark. What makes the Fernsehturm even more fascinating is the story behind its construction. Designed to broadcast signals across the city, it became a tool of both communication and propaganda. But it wasn't just a technical marvel. Its shape, with the unique bulb-like structure at the top, represented the idea of unity and acceptance, bridging the divide between East and West Berlin. Visitors can take an elevator to the observation deck and enjoy 360-degree views of Berlin. Right in the middle of Berlin, there's a striking red building that quietly tells the story of the city. This is the Rotes Rathaus, or Red City Hall, a place where Berlin's mayor and government work. Its warm red bricks and tall tower give it a bold but graceful look, especially when the sunlight hits just right. Built in the 1800s, the design was inspired by beautiful buildings from Italy and France. Before it stood here, the area was filled with small medieval houses. The hall was nearly destroyed during World War II, but it was carefully rebuilt, just like before. For many years, it served as the city hall for East Berlin. After the city came together again, the whole government moved back into this proud and peaceful place. Today, the Rotes Rathaus still stands strong, full of history and full of life. We pull our info from different sources. If you spot anything or want to add more, drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you. The Konzerthaus Berlin is a stunning concert hall located at Gendarmenmarkt Square in the heart of Berlin. Originally built as a theater in the early 1800s, it was first known as the Schauspielhaus Berlin. After World War II, the building was transformed into a concert hall and became the Konzerthaus Berlin in 1994. The Konzerthaus is home to the Konzerthaus Orchester Berlin, a renowned orchestra of the city. The building has a rich history, starting as the National Theater before being rebuilt as the Königliches Schauspielhaus. Over the years, it has seen many important events, including the 1848 Revolution, when it hosted political assemblies. Severely damaged during World War II, the hall was carefully rebuilt and reopened as a concert venue in 1984. Known for its remarkable acoustics, the Konzerthaus is considered one of the best concert halls in the world. Most people come to Berlin for the big sights, but hidden in the city's old quarter is a true gem, St. Nicholas's Church. This is Berlin's oldest church, built more than 800 years ago, between 1220 and 1230. It's part of the Nikolai Viertel, a cozy neighborhood that feels like stepping into the past. The church has changed a lot over time. It started as Catholic, then became Lutheran after the Reformation. It even had famous people working here like hymn writer Paul Gerhardt and a music director named Johann Kruger. Sadly, the church was almost destroyed during World War II. For decades, it stood in ruins until it was finally rebuilt in the 1980s, using the original designs. Now it's a peaceful museum and concert space, known for its beautiful music and 41 ringing bells. The Bode Museum is located on Museum Island in the heart of Berlin, Germany. It was built between 1898 and 1904 and was originally called the Kaiser Friedrich Museum. The museum is named after Wilhelm von Bode, the first curator, and today it's home to incredible art collections. The Bode Museum is part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its unique architecture and history. During World War II, much of its collection was saved, though some was lost in a fire. After years of repairs, the museum reopened in 2006, following a major renovation. Today, visitors can explore art from many periods, including the Renaissance, Baroque, and Middle Ages. The museum is known for its impressive collection of sculptures and is praised for showing European history in a whole new way. Over 400 years ago, a massive fortress was built atop a medieval castle in Berlin, designed to protect the city of Spandau. Little did they know, it would become one of the best preserved Renaissance fortresses in Europe, surviving wars, sieges, and even the rise and fall of empires. This is Spandau Citadel. Originally constructed between 1559 and 1594, it was more than just a fortress. It was a symbol of strength and survival. The citadel has witnessed battles between Swedish troops and the Prussian army, as well as an important moment during World War II, when it was spared from destruction by Soviet forces after a peaceful surrender. Today, this ancient structure is a museum, showcasing sculptures and art pieces with deep historical significance. The Citadel's inner courtyard has even become a popular spot for open-air concerts, bringing a new life to the site each summer. Over 300 years ago, during the late Baroque period, the ruler of Prussia commissioned the construction of a palace that would later become one of Berlin's most iconic landmarks. Did you know that Schloss Charlottenburg was originally built as a gift for his beloved wife, Sophie Charlotte? She was the wife of Frederick I, Elector of Brandenburg, and when she passed away in 1705, Frederick I decided to name the palace in her honor. What started as a modest residence quickly grew into a grand Baroque masterpiece. Designed by architect Johann Arnold Nering, the original building featured stunning Corinthian pilasters and a central dome, marking the beginning of its royal legacy. But it wasn't until Frederick I's son, Frederick II, later known as Frederick the Great, took the throne that the palace began its grand expansion. Frederick the Great brought in renowned architects to extend the palace, adding wings, beautiful gardens, and magnificent halls. During the summer, it became a vibrant center for royal festivities. Though the palace suffered severe damage during World War II, it has been lovingly restored to its former glory. Gendarmenmarkt is a beautiful square in the heart of Berlin. It features stunning architecture, including the Berlin Concert Hall and the French and German churches. At the center of the square stands a statue of the famous poet Friedrich Schiller, adding to the square's charm. Built in 1688 as a marketplace, the square was later rebuilt in the 18th century by architect Georg Christian Unger. The name Gendarmenmarkt comes from a Prussian regiment that once had stables here until 1773. Sadly, during World War II, many of the buildings were damaged or destroyed, but they've all been beautifully restored. Recently, the square underwent a renovation, blending history with modern, eco-friendly upgrades. Now, visitors can enjoy the square's beauty while knowing it's been carefully updated for the future. Perfect for a sunny stroll. The Olympiastadion in Berlin stands as a symbol of both history and sports. Built in 1936 for the Summer Olympics, the stadium was designed by architect Werner March and originally held over 100,000 spectators. After renovations in 2004, it now accommodates 74,475 people, making it the largest stadium in Germany for international football matches. The Olympiastadion has witnessed unforgettable moments, including the 1974 FIFA World Cup and the 2006 World Cup final. Since 1963, it has been home to Hertha BSC, and it continues to host major events like the DFB Pokal Final and UEFA competitions. Beyond sports, the venue has also hosted significant events, like a 2011 Peace Meditation Festival with 70,000 participants. It serves not only as a sports arena, but also as a testament to Berlin's resilience, drawing visitors from all over the globe. Rosenthaler Platz is a busy intersection in Berlin's Mitte district. It's where several streets meet, forming a crossroads instead of a true square. This spot sits on the site of an old gate called Rosenthaler Tor, part of Berlin's customs wall. For centuries, This was one of the few gates where Jewish people could enter the city. In front of the gate, King Friedrich II built the Rosenthaler neighborhood for Saxon guest workers. By the 1860s, the customs wall was removed, and the gate was torn down to make space for Berlin's growth. You can even find Rosenthaler Platz in Alfred Doblin's Berlin Alexanderplatz, a famous book from 1929. The underground station opened in 1930 and became a temporary border crossing after the Berlin Wall was built in 1961. Berlin's State Opera, or Staatsoper, unter den Linden, is one of Berlin's most iconic landmarks. This magnificent opera house was commissioned over 280 years ago by King Frederick the Great of Prussia. Built in the Palladian style, it stands as one of the oldest state opera houses in the world. Over the centuries, it has witnessed many changes, including being rebuilt after World War II. The Opera House was destroyed twice during the war, but was carefully restored to preserve its grandeur. In 1955, it was reopened with a special performance, marking a new chapter in its long history. Today, the Berlin State Opera remains a cultural gem, hosting remarkable performances by world-renowned artists. This is the Friedrichswerder Church, the first neo-Gothic church ever built in Berlin. Its tall, square towers and red brick walls make it stand out from the buildings around it. It was designed by Carl Friedrich Schinkel, a famous architect who usually worked in a completely different style. He started building it in 1824, and by 1831, this unique masterpiece was complete. After some damage from nearby construction, the church had to close for repairs in 2012. But don't worry, it reopened in 2019, looking better than ever. Now, it's a peaceful place where history, art, and architecture come together in a quiet corner of Berlin. Right in the heart of Berlin, there's a museum that tells the whole story of Germany, from kings and wars to peace and change. It's called the German Historical Museum, or DHM for short. You'll find it in a super old building called the Zog House, which used to be an armory back in the 1600s. Even though the main building is under renovation, the sleek glass exhibition hall by famous architect Pei is still open and full of cool displays. The museum first opened in 1987, and it quickly became one of Berlin's most important places to learn about history. After the fall of the Berlin Wall, it became even bigger, bringing together collections from East and West Germany. Today, it's packed with thousands of objects, paintings, weapons, clothes, letters, that help explain how Germany changed over time. At first glance, you might think this church belongs in ancient Rome. But it's actually St. Hedwig's Cathedral right in the heart of Berlin. Built in the 1700s, it was the first Catholic church in Prussia after the Reformation. King Frederick the Great gave the land and helped make it happen. Though it was nearly destroyed in World War II, it was carefully rebuilt in the 1950s. In 2024, it reopened with a fresh design and a beautiful altar made from stones collected by locals. Hidden in a quiet corner of Berlin, there's a church with a story that stretches back over 300 years. This is Parochialkirche. Built between 1695 and 1703, it stands as the oldest Protestant church in Berlin. It was created for ordinary people, not just for the royal family. At the time, most churches in Berlin were Lutheran, so this Reformed church was a rare and important addition. In 1944, bombs destroyed much of the church, including its iconic tower. But despite the damage, the community worked hard to restore it. In 2016, after 72 years, the bells returned to the tower, bringing the church back to life with their ringing sound. In Berlin, there's a special monument known as the Peace Column, or Friedenssäule. Built in 1843, this 19-meter tall column is crowned with a statue of Victoria, the goddess of victory. It's located in the lively Marienplatz area in the vibrant Friedrichshain-Kreuzberg district. The Peace Column stands as a symbol of peace, drawing both locals and tourists who want to learn about Berlin's history. As you visit, you'll notice the peaceful surroundings, with lots of greenery, making it a great spot for a break. With easy access by public transport, the Peace Column is a must-see for anyone visiting Berlin, offering both history and beauty. Mitte is the first and most central district of Berlin, and it's where the city's history comes alive. This area includes some of the most famous landmarks, like the Brandenburg Gate, the Reichstag, and the TV Tower. Mitte is home to Museum Island, which has beautiful museums and the famous Berlin Cathedral. The district is located along the Spree River and is surrounded by other parts of Berlin, like Charlottenburg and Friedrichshain. From 1961 to 1990, Mitte was divided by the Berlin Wall. One of the most famous checkpoints was Checkpoint Charlie, which was used by foreigners and diplomats to cross from East to West Berlin. Today, Mitte is a vibrant part of Berlin, full of history, culture, and some of the best sights in the city. Imagine stepping into a park so full of history, nature, and life that you can forget you're in Berlin. This is Tiergarten, the perfect place to relax, unwind, and enjoy the natural beauty of the city. Once a royal hunting ground for the great elector, Friedrich Wilhelm, Tiergarten has transformed over the centuries into a sprawling green oasis right in the heart of Berlin. Today, it's not just a park, it's a place where locals and visitors alike come to escape the busy city life, whether it's for a peaceful stroll or a picnic with friends. The park's history goes back to the 16th century, and you can still see the remnants of its royal past. Originally enclosed for the elite, its transformation began in the late 17th century, when avenues were arranged in beautiful patterns inspired by French gardens. By the 19th century, landscape architect Peter Joseph Linné reshaped the park into the form we know today, an English-style garden perfect for relaxation and leisure. Even now, the park is a symbol of Berlin's resilience and beauty, offering a place to reflect, enjoy nature, and take in the sights of iconic landmarks like the Brandenburg Gate and Potsdamer Platz. Did you know that one of Berlin's busiest squares was once nothing more than a deserted wasteland? Potsdamer Platz, now filled with modern skyscrapers, was destroyed during World War II and left abandoned during the Cold War. A long time ago, Potsdamer Platz was a busy place. It was used for military parades, and it was the spot where the road to Potsdam passed through. In the 1800s, it became one of the busiest traffic intersections in all of Europe. But then, World War II changed everything. The squares was destroyed, and for many years, it stayed empty, with nothing but rubble. During the Cold War, the Berlin Wall split the square in half, making it a forgotten place, stuck between East and West Berlin. When Germany reunited, something amazing happened. Potsdamer Platz was rebuilt and became a lively modern square. The Französischer Dom stands proudly in Berlin's Gendarmenmarkt, a beautiful square in the Mitte district. Built between 1780 and 1785, it was designed by Karl von Gontard and added to the Französische Friedrichswerder Church. This stunning Baroque tower, commissioned by King Frederick II of Prussia, is not actually a church but a grand dome. It faces the Deutscher Dom, and together, they are part of what makes Gendarmenmarkt the most beautiful square in Berlin. The French Dome and its twin are symbols of religious tolerance and the successful integration of the Huguenot refugees. Although it's called the French Dome, it's really a tower with an observation platform, housing the Huguenot Museum. After being damaged in World War II, the dome and church were carefully rebuilt, reopening in the 1980s, and today, the tower offers incredible views of Berlin. Spandau is actually 5 years older than Berlin, something locals are quite proud of. Even though there are new buildings, the history of Spandau is still very much alive in its old town. The Old Town is now a pedestrian zone, making it a perfect place to explore at a relaxed pace. While many buildings were damaged in past wars, the layout of the Old Town still keeps its medieval charm. You can enjoy the mix of architectural styles as you stroll through the area, each building adding its own piece to the city's history. There are hidden spots where you can feel the city's past, from the cobblestone streets to the ancient walls. The Old Town is a great place to learn about Spandau's long history while soaking in the atmosphere of a city that's seen centuries of change. Visiting the historic center of Spandau gives you a glimpse into the past, with a perfect blend of history and modern life. Some say rivers have memories. If that's true, the Spree must remember a lot. The Spree River stretches over 400 kilometers, winding its way through Germany and playing a crucial role in Berlin's history. It's not just a body of water. It's been a key part of the city for centuries, shaping the landscape and the people who lived along its banks. During the medieval period, the river was a vital trade route, bringing goods and people into Berlin and helping it grow into an important city. In the 20th century, the Spree became a symbol of division when the Berlin Wall was built, separating East and West Berlin. After the fall of the wall, the river's role as a unifier became even more apparent, linking once divided neighborhoods and connecting people from both sides. Today, the Spree is a place of leisure, where locals and visitors enjoy boat tours, strolls along its banks, and events that take place on its waters. What if we told you that a giant circus tent, once located right next to the Berlin Wall, became one of the most beloved event spaces in Berlin? This is the incredible story of the Tempodrom, a venue that started as a temporary structure but quickly grew into a cultural icon. In 1980, Irene Mosinger, a nurse who had just inherited 800,000 marks from her father, decided to use the money to bring her dream to life. She set up the Tempodrom under a circus tent, right next to the Berlin Wall, in the lively area of Potsdamer Platz. Noise complaints and changing city plans forced the Tempodrom to move several times. It wasn't until 2001 that a permanent home was built for it, near the old Anhalter Bahnhof station, which had been destroyed during World War II. The new venue, designed by the famous architectural firm von Gerkan, Marg und Partner, blends the history of Berlin with modern architecture. The Tempodrom now hosts a wide range of events, from concerts to festivals, and continues to be a place where people from all walks of life come together to enjoy unforgettable experiences. The Alte National Gallery in Berlin is part of the UNESCO World Heritage Museum's Insel, or Museum Island. Built between 1862 and 1876, it was designed by Friedrich August Stüler and completed by Johann Heinrich Strack in a mix of classical and neo-Renaissance styles. The architecture of the Alte National Gallery is unique, combining elements of temples, castles, and churches to show the connection between art, history, and the nation. The building's beautiful stone exterior has been preserved, while the inside has been updated over time to suit modern exhibits. In 2019, the Alte National Gallery welcomed over 376,000 visitors, making it a must-see destination in Berlin for art lovers. This makes it a must-see destination for art lovers visiting Berlin. If you're in Berlin, you can't miss the Martin-Gropius-Bau, also known as Gropius-Bau. This beautiful building, which opened in 1881, is one of the most important exhibition spaces in the city. It was originally built to house the Museum of Applied Arts, and today it hosts incredible art exhibitions from artists like Ai Weiwei and Paul Klee. The building was designed by Martin-Gropius, who is related to the famous architect Walter Gropius. After being rebuilt in the 1980s, it became one of the most stunning exhibition spaces in Germany. The Gropius-Bau is situated in Berlin Kreuzberg, adjacent to some of the city's most renowned landmarks. It's a great place to learn about art and history, and it's close to other attractions like the Berlin Parliament Building and Potsdamer Platz. If you love culture and history, the Martin-Gropius-Bau is definitely a must-see spot in Berlin. Over 100,000 people tried to escape East Germany by crossing the Berlin Wall, and more than 200 lost their lives in the attempt. But did you know that the Berlin Wall wasn't just a barrier? It was also a symbol of hope and resilience for those who dreamed of freedom. Built in 1961, the wall was meant to stop people from fleeing East Berlin and the communist East Germany. But for the people living in the Eastern Bloc, it represented something much deeper. It was a constant reminder of the divide between two worlds, one free and one under strict control. For nearly 30 years, families were torn apart, and thousands risked everything to escape. Some used clever tunnels, while others tried to scale the wall itself. Despite the dangers, these brave individuals fought to cross the barrier, yearning for a life of freedom. In 1989, after years of civil unrest and growing pressure, the wall finally came down. It was a moment that changed the world, symbolizing the collapse of an oppressive regime and the victory of hope and unity over division. Since 1999, the Molecule Men have stood tall in the Spree River near the Oberbaum Bridge in Berlin. This 30-meter-high sculpture was created by American artist Jonathan Borofsky. The figures symbolize the meeting point of three Berlin districts, Treptow, Kreuzberg, and Friedrichshain. But today, even more neighborhoods come together here. Borofsky designed the sculpture to remind us that, like people and molecules, we all exist in a world of chance. The goal is to find unity and connection in everything we do. The molecule men have been part of Berlin's skyline for years, and they represent the idea of people coming together, just like molecules forming life itself. This amazing work is part of a series of sculptures by Borowski found around the world. The figures are made of aluminum and have hundreds of holes, showing how humans connect and shape the world around them. It's a beautiful reminder of how everything is linked in this ever-changing world. The Frankfurter Tor is a historic square in Berlin's Friedrichshain district. It sits at a major intersection where several roads meet, including Karl-Marx-Allee and Frankfurter Allee. The Frankfurter Tor U-Bahn station is located here, making it a key spot in the city. The square was named in 1957 after World War II to remember the old Berlin city gate that once stood at this spot. During the war, much of the area was destroyed, but it was later rebuilt with a new design. In 1949, the streets around the square were renamed Stalin Allee in honor of Soviet leader Stalin. In 1961, the names were changed again, and Frankfurter Allee was restored to its original name. The two towering buildings at the square are classic examples of Stalinist architecture, built between 1953 and 1956. From here, you can spot the Berlin TV tower in the distance, perfectly aligned between the twin towers. Kreuzberg is a lively district in Berlin, now located in the heart of the city. Once separated by the Berlin Wall, it's now a place where both locals and visitors enjoy the parks, like Görlitzer Park and Victoria Park. The district got its name from the Kreuzberg Mountain, which stands 66 meters high in Victoria Park. Kreuzberg is famous for its many cafes, where you can relax and enjoy the atmosphere. The area used to have a rough reputation, but it's changed a lot over the years. It's known for the May Day celebrations like the peaceful Maifest, where people come together to celebrate. People from over 180 nationalities live here peacefully, creating a rich, diverse community. Once one of the poorest areas in West Berlin, Kreuzberg has transformed since reunification in 1990. It's now known for its vibrant arts scene and as a place where alternative lifestyles thrive. The Neuer Marstall, or New Stables, is a historic building in Berlin, completed in 1901. It was once home to the royal equerry, horses and carriages of Imperial Germany, and had a riding school and knights' college. After renovations in 2005, it became the home of the Hans Eisler Academy of Music and the Berlin City Library. The Neuer Marstall was originally built as a neo-Baroque structure, with beautiful sculptural details like the horse tamers on its facade. With ongoing restorations, the building remains an important part of Berlin's historical and artistic scene. This is the Humboldt Forum, a huge museum that tells stories from around the world. It's inside the rebuilt Berlin Palace, right on Museum Island in the center of Berlin. The museum is named after two smart brothers, Wilhelm and Alexander von Humboldt, who loved learning about people and nature. Here, you'll find art, history, and culture from places outside of Europe, all brought together under one roof. Two older museums, the Ethnological Museum and the Museum of Asian Art, are now part of this amazing space. The building took years to finish, with delays from technical problems, lockdowns, and even a small explosion during construction. But in 2022, the final section opened, making it the most expensive cultural project ever built in Germany. With over 1.7 million visitors in 2023, the Humboldt Forum has become the most popular museum in Germany. Alexanderplatz is one of Berlin's busiest and most famous squares, located in the heart of the city and named after Russian Tsar Alexander I. This lively square has a rich history, from being a military parade ground to a bustling marketplace. It's now a top spot for tourists, with famous landmarks like the TV Tower, the Nikolai Quarter, and the Red City Hall all nearby. For Berliners, it's simply called Alex, and it's one of the city's main commercial centers, full of shopping malls and department stores. It was the site of important events, from street fights in the 1848 Revolution to peaceful protests in 1989 that led to the fall of the Berlin Wall. After World War II, the square was rebuilt under Soviet control, and its design was transformed in the 1960s and 70s, becoming more pedestrian-friendly. Some of the most iconic buildings were built during this time, including the TV tower, which is still the tallest building in Germany. Alexanderplatz continues to evolve with new shopping malls, modern skyscrapers, and even a new skyline. Karl-Marx-Allee is a grand boulevard in Berlin, built between 1952 and 1960 by East Germany. It stretches over 2.3 kilometers and is 90 meters wide, lined with stunning 8-story buildings in a classic socialist style. Originally named Stalin Alley, it was part of a large rebuilding project after World War II. The avenue was designed to provide luxury housing for workers, as well as shops, restaurants, and even a huge cinema called Kino International. At each end of the street, you'll find impressive dual towers designed by Hermann Henselmann. The street has a rich history, including being the site of a major worker uprising in 1953, which led to tragic deaths. In 1961, the street was renamed to honor Karl Marx after the removal of a giant Stalin statue. Karl-Marx-Allee remains admired for its bold design and continues to be a landmark of Berlin's past, blending history, culture, and stunning architecture. The Altes Stadthaus, or Old City Hall, is a historic building in Berlin. Built between 1902 and 1911, it cost 7 million marks and was designed by Ludwig Hoffmann, the city's chief architect. Located at Molkenmarkt, the building is surrounded by 4 streets. After World War II, the building served as the headquarters for the East German government, while the one next door also carried the name New City Hall. During the war, the building was heavily damaged, but in the 1990s, it underwent a careful restoration, including the reconstruction of the roof and sculptures. It is used by Berlin's Senate and stands as a symbol of the city's rich history. Berlin is full of places where the past and present live side by side. From quiet courtyards to grand museums, every corner has its own story to tell. The streets carry the echoes of empires, revolutions, and reunions, yet they feel alive with art, music, and movement. Old buildings rise with new meaning, and even the smallest details invite you to pause and look closer. As you walk through this city, history isn't behind glass. It's around you, in every stone and every step. Every moment here feels connected, like the city is gently guiding you from one chapter to the next. And just like that, our time in Berlin comes to an end. Thanks for joining us on this unforgettable journey. Until next time, keep exploring and discovering the beauty that's all around us.